right, let's try that again. Let's try that again. I'm not going to put any more pictures up this time, but if you want to see the pictures, check out our Instagram page. Yeah, no. So again, first impressions of a first Junkies road trip.
It was a road trip, that was for sure. I found out Mr. Cincinnati does not eat carbs. He did commit a crime of leaving half of a Waffle House waffle and most of a full Cracker Barrel pancake on his plate. So, got to get this guy eating carbs. That's all I'm gonna say. I cleaned my
What you
plate
know
both
what?
times. You remember that? Because I did.
Yeah, I do remember that. Okay, in my defense, we got in at what 10:30, 11 at night. Just wanted a little something to put in my stomach, and that
Yeah, and
was
I ate
about
all my
it.
food.
Sue me. Yeah, okay, and that's well and good for you. Why the
This guy
Inquisition here?
also
I
can
don't
down
I don't.
about a gallon of Red Bull, and it's pretty amazing.
Well, you down a gallon of Monster sugar free. What's that about?
What do you mean? I'm not judging. I'm just you bought
Okay,
like the real
well,
big can.
I know that I did. I'm just wondering why the drive by here.
Oh man, don't do that. But no, it was a good time. Um, I think that's not something that we probably want to do all the time. Let's go down to Georgia, that 9 hours thing. But
That's
it
all
was
right.
good to go down there and like you said, kind of put some. Yes, Monster is better than Red Bull. I agree. Put some names to faces that we've seen on the screen. Get to meet some guys in person. It was really good. It was a really good time. We met some. We got to talk to Jimmy Wang Yang in a bar.
Yeah,
I didn't have that on my bucket list for 2024. So
not a bit.
that was another cool thing.
And he's from Cincinnati.
And he's from Cincinnati, and his daughter put on a hell of a match on that show, which
Yeah,
again was just amazing. I want to do it again. I'm ready to do it again. I think we might
we'll
be
be back next month.
we got something cooking up. We may not be driving that time, but we got something cooking up in April, and then when August rolls around, I have now convinced my wife to go to SummerSlam for the second year in a row on her 40th birthday. So
We're just
I have
assuming that it's in Cleveland here. It's not official, but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
we're gonna treat it like
The
it's
tea leaves are
official.
there. The tea
Yes,
leaves are definitely there. So I have a lot of, for lack of a better term, ass kissing over the next couple months for my
yeah, you
wife,
do.
and just shout out to her. Also, shout out to you. You drove the entire way. I
I
offered to
did.
drive. He didn't let me drive. So shout out
Yeah,
to you.
yeah. What about that
Appreciate
then?
it. Found out, about little Dicky. That was fun. Didn't know anything about him. So that was, continuing on our road trip. Found out a lot about Eric. So it was a good time.
Yeah, yeah. My taste in music is
Yeah,
all over the place
you
there. That's
somehow
for sure.
had Bat Country sprinkled in there, and that was a pleasant surprise.
Okay, all right, that's fair. I could see that one definitely popped you. I'll give you that. I'll give you
It
that.
did.
No.
Did what was the pop of the entire road trip though? Do you remember? Do you remember what the song that came on?
Uh, it wasn't Lil Dicky. No,
It
it
was not.
just
It was Queen
no.
Latifah.
Ah, yeah.
Queen Latifah came
Lil
on,
UNITY, yeah.
and that was. I perked up a little bit in my chair after about 8 hours. Like, oh, okay,
There you
this
go.
guy knows
Yep,
what he's doing. So, yeah,
it
great
was fun
time. Bryce, again, it was awesome. It was awesome meeting you.
for sure.
You have done a lot for this podcast. We cannot tell you how appreciative we are.
Nope.
You thanked us for coming. Thank you for opening a lot of doors for us. I don't want to speak for Eric, but like I don't think we could be doing what we're doing now
Yeah,
without
not a
your
chance.
help and just kind of your support of us. So coming down to support you is nothing, no skin off our back, no skin off our
Yeah.
teeth, whatever the word you want to use.
No.
Thank you so much for being as supportive as you have been for us.
Yeah, it's very literally the least that we could have done. So can't wait to see where the rest of the year takes, and he's got some big opportunities coming up. So hey, we can't wait to see what he does next. That's for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, let's get talking some wrestling, man. We had a big weekend here. Like we said, we were driving down to Atlanta, and SmackDown definitely helped us to get through that last 2 hours of the drive in the downpouring rain. So let's get right on into it. The Bloodline kicks it off with a 40-minute segment to start the
45.
show.
45
45
minutes.
minutes, dude. Insane, insane. And the entrances were like 11 or 12 of that.
Mm-hmm.
Just there's a lot to unpack here. There really is. Roman comes out, normal song and dance, acknowledge me. Rock comes out. Well, heavy use of the word crackhead and meth head for
And
broadcast
pro wrestling.
television. And yes, pro wrestling is cool again, according to Dwayne the Rock Johnson. Came back in with a $500 shirt, unbuttoned but tucked in. Power move. I
Heel.
can't pull that
What a
off.
heel. What a
Yeah.
heel. No, and we got yeah. You say we got the typical Roman promo, but this one was he was telling the crowd to acknowledge him. He wasn't loud enough, and he wanted to leave, but Paul told him we can't leave because the Rock's coming out. So that was an interesting dynamic that we saw. The Rock came out, was cutting his promo. You could see Roman get actively more and more frustrated with what's going on. The tag match has been laid out for night one of WrestleMania, and then we had The Rock acknowledge Roman Reigns as the tribal chief. So a lot happened in the 45 minutes that kind of flew by with the promo and everything. But A, we're getting a tag match. B, he acknowledged Roman Reigns. So now for you, C, what does this look like for WrestleMania?
It's a really good question. I mean, like you said, challenge has been laid out there. It hasn't been answered yet. I imagine that it will be. Cody and Seth
Hopefully
are both
tonight.
advertised for SmackDown as well. Yeah, I mean, it could happen today. It could be next week. I think that they're set to be there next week, or at least Cody's at least advertised to be there as well. Um, I mean, I think it's safe to say that we're getting this tag team match, which is
Yep.
awesome. But this leaves, excuse me, way more questions than answers here because both Cody and Seth still have title matches this night. So it's first things first. Does this tag team match main event night one? Is the first question I have.
Probably should.
Okay. Um, so if that main events, let's say, do we see Seth also compete on night one, or is this match day for night two as well?
So I think this is the way you have to lay it out. I think the tag match main event's night one. Seth and Drew open night two. And then Cody and Roman close night two.
Yeah, and then here's the other question: who wins this tag team match?
I think the bloodline. I don't know how they're going to
Rattle their
do it.
confidence a little bit.
Yeah, because I think, the whole thing of, you don't want to beat Roman. You don't want to beat The Rock.
No.
You don't want to beat Seth. You don't want to beat Cody. But, you know, I think you want the extra shenanigans in the Cody
Yeah.
Roman match where we'll eventually get a turn of somebody. Just having the bloodline not involved at all is probably not going to happen. Or it would. I mean, it's pretty obviously. I think that Cody's going to win at Mania, but I don't. You never say everything's 100%. But I think if there's no bloodline involvement,
Yeah.
like
And that's the
yes,
stipulation there is that if Cody and Seth win, no bloodline involvement. If bloodline wins, it's a bloodline rules match. Anything goes. Kind of a tribal combat esque stipulation, I
yeah,
would imagine,
yeah, Solo's
for
going to
that
sing the
Universal title
national anthem.
match.
No, I think you want to do the bloodline rules because you can have a Seth Rollins come out and help. You can have a Jey
Yeah.
Uso come out and help. You can kind of have that. You're not a superhero movie guy. I know you're not. But the
Yeah, it depends
Avengers
on the
end
movie.
the
Yeah,
Avengers
I've seen Endgame.
Endgame like that like that kind of feels like what we're coming to it. Like Thanos and all his bad guys on one side, and then Cody is by himself, and then all of a sudden all those windows
Yeah,
start opening, and you see the good guys come out and try to help. And I think that's what they kind of want to
sure.
culminate to is this big time showdown with everybody. And it takes all these people to take out the bloodline finally, and
Yeah.
Cody's that triumphant, winner at the end. So I think you want to do that. How they get there, I don't know, but that's the fun in it. We're gonna find out, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, it makes complete sense, especially last year. Solo got involved, cost Cody the championship. Now it's, if Bloodline wins this match, then anything goes, which means that Cody can at least have a plan to have some
Yeah,
backup. He
backup.
knows that he's going to, yeah, he knows that he's going to run into this here. So he might as well, at this point, I think this is the better option if he wants a chance at winning the title. Now, as far as who wins this tag team match here, it would not surprise me if Seth Rollins took the pin here.
I say yes, but I also wouldn't be surprised if Cody took it. They kind of plant those seeds of doubt, like, oh my god, they're gonna do it again. You know what I mean? Like if
Yeah,
you have The Rock pin Cody,
and there's something to come back to as well if
the
this
heat with
one-on-one
that would
actually
be
happens.
amazing.
I mean, he did cut a 22-minute promo
Mm-hmm.
on Cody
Yep,
leading up
and
to
Seth.
SmackDown. It's just
Because I don't know if you want to pin Seth on night one, and then because I think we all assume Seth is going to lose,
yeah.
which I think we may when that card gets a little bit more clearer, we may need to kind of look at it a little bit more in depth, which obviously we will. But like right now, it looks like almost damn near every title is changing hands, which we know is not going to happen. So you know, we assume Bailey's going to win. We assume Drew's going to win.
Yes.
We assume Cody's going to win. We assume somebody's going to win the United States champion. We assume the tag team champions are going to change hands. We, assume that this might be the time for Gunther to lose the title. Like, not everybody's going to lose their title. So,
There's one you left out there, and that gives me an idea of who you think's going to win. You think Rhea retains at WrestleMania?
I do. Yes.
Yeah, and right on time. Right on time.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I do.
I like
I
that.
think that's the only one going in where we're like, okay, she will probably retain. But like all the others, we're like,
Yeah.
they're probably going to change hands, which never happens. This isn't the
Yeah.
Attitude Era where the title changes hands 12 times in a year.
Sure.
Like we got to
Yeah.
rein it in, I think, a little bit.
Yeah, and something else that I think is going to merit watching as well is especially if it seems like this is a night one, night two kind of situation. Let's just say, for the sake of this hypothetical, tag team match main events on night one, both men's world title matches go on night two. Do you leave night one primarily for the women and put both of those
Yes.
title matches on, or split them up? Okay.
Nope. I make night one all about the women. That's what I would do. I would open with one of the women titles matches, probably Rhea Becky, just to get off to a great start.
Yeah,
Co-main event be Bailey and Io, and I think you're fine.
I like it. I like it. Okay, cool.
So we'll find out.
Yeah, yeah. Another little note that needs to be watched. Once again, Rock throws up that L.
And Paul Heyman was looking this time.
Yes. 2024 WWE Hall of Fame inductee Paul Heyman was watching.
Yes, he was, and that's exciting.
How awesome is that?
Excuse me. Sorry. I think we saw it coming. It definitely being in Philly, it was like, okay,
Yeah.
you can't really pick a better headliner than Mr. Philadelphia, the guy who brought ECW to what it was in that city. It'll be cool to see the rest of the class round out. Who do you think inducts in?
Oof, that is a great question. That's a really good question.
Because like the one that I think will probably is Punk.
That will probably that's definitely the front runner of a choice. Certain people are either contractually not available or have other issues that have led them to be unavailable. Uh,
Yes, which is going to be
that is,
interesting to hear in his speech. Like, how are they going to
yes,
tiptoe around?
yeah,
Because he was with Brock for a
very
long,
long time.
long time, and a huge
Yeah,
portion of that man's career. So,
yeah,
like most of it, actually. So
yeah,
that'll be interesting to see how they tiptoe around that.
yeah. I could also. It'd be interesting to see if Bischoff would do it too.
Yeah, maybe, maybe.
If you're just looking for somebody that would. I mean, I think you could also find a Sandman or Rob Van Dam or
No,
Sabu. I'm
I don't
just
want
saying.
Sandman. I don't want Sandman or Sabu.
Okay.
RVD
Okay.
maybe. Like I don't. As much as I like them, like I don't. How good is their speech going to be?
Well, Dean Douglas.
No, I know. Saw people saying Tommy Dreamer. That probably won't happen. They have some heat, like recent heat.
Okay. Okay. I was gonna say. I mean, never say never. The impact relationship is good these days. That if that heat did not exist, that
Yeah,
could be an option. But we'll see.
maybe.
It'll
I think
it'll be
Punk's your front
interesting.
runner,
Yeah, for sure.
but yeah. The other thing on SmackDown that I think we should touch on is Dakota Kai turned on
Love it.
Bailey, which everybody saw from probably about 10,000 miles away.
Yeah.
Probably the entire drive we saw that coming,
Yep.
but Bailey did not. So now the deck is stacked thoroughly against Bailey, and we will see how she adjusts to that. She needs a friend, but I think
Yeah.
that friend signed with AEW, so she'll have to find
Yeah.
another one.
And I mean, we saw the face off between the Kabuki Warriors, Jake Cargill. I mean,
I
there
did see
could
that.
be
Yes.
some additional, that could be a women's tag team program, and I'd really get behind that, honestly.
Yep.
I would say that if, because I know that I've said we need to see like a 6, 7 month title reign out of the Kabuki Warriors here. If they drop them to Bianca and Jade, I would be fine with that because I know that we would get that 6+ month title reign with these titles
Yeah.
down the line
Yeah.
anyway. So,
No Bianca on the show too, which was evident.
yeah.
But yeah,
That's okay
I
though, I
think that's the
think.
main. The other one more thing, and then we can move on to
Yeah, of
Revolution because
course.
that was a great show. Um, Aldis talked about him and Adam Pearce have a meeting about the tag team championships. So it looks like we might be getting a split there. That would be amazing. That was kind of the last thing that I wanted to touch on, but that would be. Whew, I would be so happy for that.
Yeah, I think that that would be absolutely amazing. It's way past time to do this. There are a number of tag teams being established. They very clearly are putting effort into the tag team division again. Um, yeah, this is time. This is more opportunity for people, and this tag team title reign of the Judgment Day hasn't necessarily set the world on fire, which is
Nope.
what it is. I
It's a
think that there
means
was a
to an
lot of
end.
promise with it because Dom was also North American champion. Rhea had the women's title. I think we thought that we would see something that was something a bit more undisputed, but it's all good.
Nice transition.
Thank you, thank you. AEW Revolution coming from the Greensboro Coliseum. I don't know where to begin with this show because
Let's just go
I,
match by match, man.
yeah I was I know I think we were excited about this card. We have some
Yes,
contemporaries that said on paper it didn't sound all that great, and I hope that they're eating their words now. Um,
probably.
but this was just
This was
absolute
amazing.
masterpiece. World's End sucked, and I know that I said it back then too. They need to redeem themselves with their next show, and they absolutely did. Yeah,
Yeah,
let's get
yeah.
right
I
on
mean,
into it.
so I
Yeah, do your thing.
full
Let's do it.
disclosure, did not watch the 0 hour. So if you want to talk about those matches, you
It's
can.
okay.
But yeah,
I had it on while I was at the E, so
I think there was. I think for like the main card, there was one match that I can be critical of, but I think the rest of them, like everything else, I was so happy with.
yeah. I mean, I really didn't dislike any of the matches, and there wasn't necessarily anything that I would necessarily criticize. But let's just go match by match. I mean, Christian Cage retains against Daniel Garcia. Fun little opener. Nick Wayne gets involved. Mother Wayne has a little bit of involvement there. I'm liking that she's finally a character in this, and it really is kind of it's a little just
It's a little family.
Adam's family, but psychopaths.
Yeah. No, it was good. It was good. It was good open. Um, I I think I said Christian was going to win. I think they're saving that title change for maybe Copeland in Canada. But yeah, really good match, really good showing from Daniel Garcia. That guy has it, and I think he is going to have a bright future in AEW. If not AEW, then wrestling overall. I could see him eventually taking that title off of Christian. But yeah, I like the structure of the match. I like the selling of the match. Like Christian did a great job selling his leg, even going for
Yeah.
that spear and everything. Like he just did a really really good job. Like you said, the involvement was there with the family,
Mm-hmm.
and it
Yep.
just the numbers game caught up with Daniel Garcia. So I think we'll see those kind of even out here over the next couple weeks. But yeah, pretty solid open.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they got the time to work, 16 minutes. I mean, that just, yeah, I can't say enough good things about Christian in this run that he's on right now. This character just works. And
Mm-hmm.
I hope that we get a couple more years of this. I mean, he still looks
So
great. And what?
you could easily get more years out of this. Like, because he's not
Yeah,
working every week, so if he has that
yeah,
adjusted schedule, yeah, let the dude cut promos. I'd be
yeah,
okay with that.
exactly. I mean, and then, Nick Wayne gets the rub of working with a
Oh,
Hall of Fame
he is
wrestler, a
gonna
number
be
of talents just by association. I mean, he's already so far ahead of the game mentally that when he does get to be at 25, 26, and he won't even be hitting his peak at that age. Like this, it's just crazy to think, and you can tell that he's putting in the effort to put on some muscle as he matures. So it's just, I mean, future world champion right there, and this is going to be a
yes.
huge part of why.
That dude's gonna be
Daniel
so
Garcia,
good.
yeah,
That dude is
that
like,
yeah.
Nick Wade is gonna be so good. It's not even funny.
Yeah, I mean that core that they have right now in their locker room, Daniel Garcia,
Yes.
Nick Wayne. I mean, they're all young guys, and it is. I mean, they
We'll talk
they
about a
they
few more
definitely are
later, but
stacked on that. Absolutely, yeah. So
yeah,
it's going to be really really fun to see what they do with them. But where do you see Daniel Garcia going from here?
I could still see him being involved with this title. I
Okay,
could see him being the one to eventually take it off of Christian Cage. Just tonight wasn't the night. Like, let Edge
yeah,
or Adam Copeland kind of get his feud over with. Maybe he can come out and help even the odds with Daddy Magic, and then kind of
yeah,
then you that because giving the title to Edge really doesn't do much, but giving the title to a Daniel Garcia kind of boosts Daniel Garcia up a bunch.
yeah,
So I think you want to do that.
yeah. I agree. I think that, and you've already referenced the fact that they're going to be in Toronto a few weeks. So you think that Copeland or that Cage retains here, or that
I don't know if it's necessarily for the title. Is
okay,
what I'm saying. This might just be like
fair,
the ultimate grudge match kind of thing.
okay, yeah, no, I would rather. I mean, Garcia taking the title again does much more for him than it does Copeland.
Yeah.
This is revenge. You took me out with a concerto. Now it's personal. So
Yep.
we'll see where it goes.
For
But
sure.
next up, Eddie Kingston defeats Bryan Danielson in a match for the Continental Crown. Another, this match is on the Junkies Match of the Year contender list, and we got to sort through all of these in the very near future to start weeding some of these out or doing a tournament to rank them or something. But yeah, this was masterclass match. I mean, I don't think we expected anything less from Bryan Danielson, but Eddie Kingston, man, just he's the best thing they got going in AEW right now. He just it's hard not to like Eddie Kingston.
I don't know about the best thing going in
Okay,
AEW. We can
whatever.
have an
Just
argument about
let me
that one.
just give the man a compliment, all right?
No, I'll give him a compliment too. He looked great
Okay.
against Danielson. Dude, that dude is so good. He is so good. I'm so
Yeah.
happy that we have an AEW where we can see him wrestle. Like he is
Yeah.
so good. It's not even funny. But this was a great booking, right?
Yep.
We saw Eddie Kingston beat Danielson in the Continental Classic to get to the finals, and Danielson calling it a fluke and all that good stuff. Here he went wits with Danielson. They did some great chain wrestling. They did some
Yes.
striking. Like it was just a really well
Yeah.
like laid out match. And Kingston just he kept up with Danielson, and that was awesome. But ultimately, Eddie getting the win. The handshake was there. They had a social media post. I don't know if you saw
That
where they're
promo
both
is
in
so good.
the training room, and they're both
Yeah.
talking about it, and it was like that mutual respect kind of thing, which was awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Danielson's at the top of his game. Eddie did very good keeping up with the Danielson, and I'm excited to see what's next for Eddie Kingston. I want to see him move kind of past this BCC stuff, and
Yeah.
let's see what's next for him, because right now this title run that he's on, like he's going to keep stacking up wins, and I think eventually when he loses, all our hearts are going to be broken. But
Yeah.
it's going to be one of those ones where like, okay, that was an amazing title run, and the guy who takes it off him is well deserved.
And Kyle has also said that Eddie Kingston is growing on him. I never thought that I would see the day that he said those words, but here we
It's
are.
like the Grayson Waller effect, man.
Yep.
You,
Good to
you
know
just
that I was right about something. Yeah.
once, but you keep once you keep
Yeah.
watching, and
Okay.
we know you're not good at geography, but you keep watching a guy, and you kind of follow it, and he just keeps getting better and better, and at this point in Eddie's
Yeah.
career, like he's just a savvy vet and knows how to work
Yeah.
with
Pretty
damn near
much.
everybody. So
Yeah. This is, and I agree with you. I think it's definitely way past time to move on past BCC.
yeah,
Had to go through them in the Continental Classic. Makes sense there, and this is kind of I think this is the appropriate kind of bookend feud. I think he's defeated all three of them to retain the
yep,
Triple Crown at this point anyway, or to win it in the case of Mox. So this is a good way to go out. He's earned the respect of at least one member of the BCC. So it's definitely a match of the year contender, or at least it's going on the list here, and I'm sure that we will have a spirited discussion about
oh we will,
where it belongs. Yeah.
because I think there's two
Um,
other matches on this card alone that knocks it
oh
out.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, and this could be one of them. Wardlow defeated Chris Jericho, Powerhouse Hobbs, Lance Archer, Hook, Brian Cage, and Dante Martin in the All-Star Scramble match, and has earned an AEW World Championship opportunity. The rebuild of Wardlow for the umpteenth time begins.
Yep.
And that's all the podcast Dad has to say about that match, which is totally fine.
This
Here's the
match just this match had a lot going on.
It did. It did. And this certainly was not, at least in my opinion, this was not better than what the three way would have been. And I feel like we just need to kind of break down the logic of this.
Okay.
Three way match is announced. Meet Madness, Wardlow, Archer, Hobbs. That's it. Cool. 2 seconds later, oh, this is now a scramble. This is now an 8-man scramble match, and two of the participants that we didn't announce in the first place are injured, and now we have to do qualifiers to bring two new people into this match. Hooray! They basically told on themselves that Miro and
Keith Lee.
Yeah, Keith Lee were injured. That about sums up Keith Lee's run in AEW, doesn't it?
Unfortunately, yes.
Damn, that's my bad. Okay. Yeah, so they were never announced in the match in the first place, but Tony says, oh, well, they were going to be, but they're hurt. So if they were hurt, why would you announce them as being part of the match anyway when they haven't been on TV in ages? That's the one thing that I feel like they're going to want back when it comes to looking back at the overall booking of this particular match. We knew the end result was going to be Wardlow winning. You could have done that just as easily in the three-way match because we did kind of see kind of a tale of two matches here. All the big guys went at it, and then all the smaller guys went at it and had a lot of those spots together. I think that it was Dylan at Last Week in Wrestling put out a video on social media of Wardlow just kind of standing outside during the sequences with the smaller guys. This one didn't make any sense, but I'm glad that Wardlow got the win because, hey, consistent booking.
I mean, he was the obvious one to get the win, but yeah, we'll see where it leads to. The jury's out for me on Wardlow, so
I know.
We'll see where it leads. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hey, at least he's got the world title shot. That is at least a step in the next direction.
Okay.
Meaty Madness and watch them turn it into a four-way with Miro and Keith Lee once they're close to returning.
Well, they filed for that trademark, so it's coming, whether we like it or not.
What's coming?
That they filed the trademark for Meat Madness.
Of course they did. Smart though.
So that match is going to happen whether we like it or not. But the obsession with meat is kind of, I think it jumped the shark with me. So
yeah,
it was funny when Big E did it, and
yeah,
now it's just kind of like, okay, I'm over it. This for me was the only blip on the card.
Yeah, this card would have been fine without it. It would have been okay. And yes, Big E should be paid for that. Tony Khan's going to make a boatload of money off of it. But speaking of continuity, want to talk Broderick Strong defeating Orange Cassidy for the International Championship?
Yes, match was fine. I didn't think anything super special. His backbreaker is amazing, but we all knew that. Yeah. Let's talk about what happened afterwards.
Kyle O'Reilly's back. I'm so excited. And he turned down Undisputed Kingdom. This could be a real program for them.
For now.
They don't need him.
Yeah, but they can kick somebody out.
He doesn't need them. Okay. Who are you kicking out?
Somebody that maybe not willing to give up his title opportunity to an Adam Cole.
Ooh. Clever bitch. Okay.
That's how I will start caring about Wardlow again.
Okay. So you're saying there's a chance?
There's definitely a chance. If they book this correctly, then yes. Because I would love to see Kyle O'Reilly back in that group where I think he would thrive. He would be the worker of that group. It would be amazing. Wardlow just doesn't really fit for me in the group right now, especially with no MJF. Sure. He just kind of feels like, a guy that's in it. And all his promos and everything kind of seemed like he's not with the group totally either. So
his redemption arc, yeah.
Yes. So I do think if Kyle O'Reilly joins the group, then they can kick Wardlow out and let Wardlow continue on this singles path of revenge or whatever he needs to do. But yeah, Kyle O'Reilly's back. I'm very happy to see him back.
Yeah.
There was a time where we thought we may not be able to get to see Kyle O'Reilly again. And if you have not seen this guy work, it is awesome. Yeah. It is so awesome. I'm so happy he's back. It doesn't look like he's slept since he got hurt, but I'm just happy to see him back. This is gonna be fun to see Kyle O'Reilly wrestle again.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, anything that he touches just turns into something spectacular. So, yeah, it's cool. Hopefully, the neck is good, and he gets to have kind of a Randy Orton, I'm feeling reinvigorated, sort of vibe as he makes his way back to TV here. Next up, another hard hitter, Blackpool Combat Club, FTR. This was awesome.
Yes, it
And I
was.
don't think that, I mean, that shouldn't surprise anybody. I don't think that we thought that this was going to be a bad match after going to the Broadway on Dynamite. This was just stiff.
Shout out to Mox and Claudio with the LOD tribute there coming out
Yep.
with the spike shoulder pads. That was a cool touch. Yeah, this
Yep.
this is up there for me, like one of those matches of the year that you were talking about. Like I
Yeah,
this
very much
was
so.
this was a great tag match. A little surprised that Moxley and Claudio won, because they have kind of made it very clear, at least through the announce team, that oh yeah, these guys should be number one contenders. So is that the way we see these two going? Like, are they going the tag route? Do we get, are we not getting Mox in kind of the singles area? Kind of let somebody else do their thing and let them do the tag division. Like that would be,
Yeah,
I'd be okay with that. It kind of freshens up the tag division a little bit.
yeah, I would too.
But yeah, overall, dude, like this match was awesome. And FTR, we are gonna miss them when they're gone. They are
Yeah,
so good.
just man, throwback energy all day. But yeah, I would like to see. Actually would like to see Mox and Claudio take the tag team titles here. Yeah, and this we can also kind of harken this back to Jericho's kind of place on the card right now. Is at the start of this company, AEW needed names like a John Moxley and a Chris Jericho to give them some credibility to get up and running off the ground. We're 5 years into AEW now, and they have just otherworldly talent on their roster, and we're going to get to a couple of them here in a couple of matches here. But we don't necessarily need to have as much reliance on them in these singles championship spots anymore. Let them,
Yep.
again, Mox in the tag team division. This is great. You're going to get hard hitting matches. This is going to preserve his body so you can get a little bit more out of him because of how much he has done, not just for AEW, but in Japan and just, the occasional indie tours that he's done. Try to get as much longevity out of the guy as you can. And tag team wrestling is the way to do that. Claudio, we know, is a skilled tag team specialist. 6 or 7 titles with Sheamus as
Yeah.
part of the bar, something like that. So, yeah,
Yeah.
let them run
Well,
that division for a while. I'm not crazy about another tournament again, but you know how I feel about tournaments.
yeah,
But
no,
yeah,
I know.
this is a
Yeah.
good use of them. Yeah,
Yeah. And you talk about Claudio with Sheamus, like don't forget his run with Tyson Kidd too. Like that was
yeah,
an awesome run that he had there. Yeah, like that's fine. It freshens up Mox's character a little bit. Like you said, it kind of preserves the body. We had heard that he kind of has been starting to feel it here
yeah,
lately, so this will be good that he can kind of take less bumps.
yeah. No, couldn't agree more. Um, what do you see is next for FTR?
Whatever the hell they want to do. I mean,
Fair enough.
they can go work some dream matches if they want. They can go away for a minute. I'm hoping for a heel turn eventually, but we'll
Yeah,
wait and see.
yeah, makes sense. Thomas Tony Storm defeats Deonna Purrazzo. This was a fun match. They started
It
quick
was a
with the
good one.
mind games. Yeah, they had Mariah May dressed as old school Tony Storm, and for a second I bought it and
Yeah,
I got and I thought, oh, she actually went back to,
yeah.
like, for one night only went back to this, and
I didn't
wasn't
know
the
until they
case.
said something. Like I
Yeah,
legit didn't know. Like I was like,
yeah,
oh okay, this is a fun little wrinkle. But
yeah,
yeah, like the mind games were really good. Tony then comes out, just living that gimmick up. The match
yes,
was less gimmicky, which I enjoyed.
yes,
Deanna, I think, has been one of the most underrated talents in the women's division for the past couple years, and she is now on a bigger stage where a lot of people can see
yes,
her and go, "Oh man, she is really good." She
yeah,
is really good. But yeah, this match was good. I wish there was more than one women's match on the card, but this match definitely lived up to the hype. I'm interested to see where Deanna goes after this.
yeah,
Her debut was fantastic. Her follow up for that debut was fantastic. This was the big match they're working for. What's next, right? That's what we
yeah,
always want to see is what's next. Does she run it back with Tony Storm? Does Tony Storm now move to a Mercedes? Like, what is
yeah.
Deanna's next step with his company? And
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, because I mean, we do have an April pay-per-view coming up, AEW Dynasty, April 21st. So that is very much an option here, and you know, I think that would be the most logical choice. I know that we'll likely see Mercedes debut at Big Business on March 13th. We don't nothing's official till it's official and she's on our TV. But they did. They looks like Kyle said that Tony referenced Mercedes in the media scrum. I think I saw somewhere on X that there may have been a tease of Mercedes and Serena Deeb as a potential first feud, which I also would
I
really
told you.
really enjoy. Oh, okay. Well, thanks,
On our
Mark.
drive. Yes, I told you that.
We talked about a lot in 16 hours, Brent.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Okay, so it's
Yes, we did. Well, she also mentioned Wendy Rector again, so let's. Tony Storm's nuts. So let's.
yeah, well, did you hear her say she wishes that these started later, the media scrum started later and went longer so she could have breakfast with the media?
Yeah, she's in her bag right now, dude. She's in her bag.
Why not? Yeah, and it's awesome. It's awesome. But no, realistically, I think that easiest choice is just to run this back at Dynasty. I
Okay.
don't know, do something, up the stakes here with a 2 out of 3 falls, give it something not too gimmicky, but at least enough to continue the technical showcase that we saw from them.
Yeah.
That we said this match needed. Yeah.
We did see a visual tap out from Tony Storm, so there
Yes.
is a reason to run it
Yes.
back.
Yes. And Mariah May and Luther continue to play their parts to perfection.
Yes, and the AEW refs still are terrible. But I didn't say one in particular. I said all of them.
I know. I'm just
Even though she did referee this match.
stop it. Not doing this with you today. I'm not doing this with you today.
Next match.
It's gonna be hard to beat this one as match of the year. It's gonna be really, really hard. This was
awesome.
Will Ospreay defeats Kenosuke Takeshita. This was the most magnificent 22 minutes I think that I've seen in a very long time, especially on AEW television. Dude, oh my god.
Yeah, this was awesome.
I mean, I yelled at my TV a lot. I popped a lot. I mean, they just this is the style of wrestling that AEW wants to be their blueprint. This is what they want their brand to be. I am all the way here for this. This match was amazing.
Yeah, no, we talked on the way up on our drive kind of about the AEW roster a little bit.
Yep.
Will Ospreay fits this roster and fits what AEW wants to be so well. Like this is a perfect fit for AEW. I'm glad he didn't sign with WWE because I don't know what that would look like. But like this was just amazing. They made Takeshita look really, really good. I mean, he kicked out of the Hidden Blade at 1. Like they booked him so well too, where the loss doesn't feel like it hurts him as much.
Yeah.
Like you lost to probably the best professional wrestler in the world right now.
Yeah.
Oh man, this match was nuts. I mean, this was match of the year so far. I don't think there's any. I don't think it's an argument. Like this is it.
Yeah. Let me, and I'm just, if you'll hear me, here are the ones, and I know there are ones that I'm missing here. And here's just the very short list I have, including this match. Daniel Garcia, Swerve Strickland on Dynamite, January 3rd. Will Ospreay versus Josh Alexander. Queen Aminata and Chris Statlander. Trick versus Ilya. Swerve versus Hangman from Dynamite. FTR Blackpool Combat Club from this show. Tony and Deanna. And Takeshita Ospreay. I don't think you could even include. I would even include Women's Royal Rumble as a potential match there, just because there was a lot of the surprise element. But nothing is going to beat Takeshita Ospreay, at least for me right now.
Not at this moment in time. That is first place right now. The show is first place right now, and show of the year as well. But this match was. If AEW is looking for a huge babyface, they got one. He's right there. Yeah. That's Will Ospreay. Like that is going to be your mega babyface going into All In. Like that's your guy. Takeshita. They have another stud who is young and is just paired with Don Callis is perfect. I don't know if I need the Don Callis family anymore, but pair Don Callis with Takeshita and I'm still happy with it. But overall, like I can't say anything that hasn't been said about this match.
Yeah, the only thing we have to look at is the follow-up with Takeshita. He did beat Kenny Omega twice in 1 week last year, and it was a bit of a lull there for a while. So I hope that that's not the case here again, because this match was a masterpiece.
Yeah, that makes me not worry about it as much. Where it's like, okay, this guy was able to hang in the ring with Osprey. Like he's gonna be it. Like
Yeah.
there's plenty of things they can do with him.
So I'm hoping so.
Yeah,
So I'm hoping so.
yeah.
One thing I didn't do this weekend was swerve while I drive, but Swerve Strickland did.
Maybe once
So
or
did
twice.
Hangman
Yes.
Page. No, I didn't.
The
And
construction was a little bumpy.
okay, well, that again, that's not my fault though.
Just saying.
It's not my fault though.
Yep, okay, okay, all right. Yeah,
That was
no,
a shitty.
pretty solid triple threat match. I think the outcome was perfect. I think Joe winning was good. I really liked
Yeah.
how this triple threat match played out. It was overall like a really really good match, and again I'm glad Joe won, especially on this night. Like you don't want Swerve to win on this night.
Yeah.
You let that win happen at a big event where he is the main event, and you have the huge celebration and everything.
Yeah.
This also gives a reason for Swerve to have a rematch because he was not the one to lose.
Right.
This gives Hangman, more motivation to be just a bad guy and continue that
Love
heel
heel
run.
Hangman.
And Joe now can go, both of you, kick dirt. I'm the champion and I already beat you. So
Yeah.
really really good three way. Also media, do better with Joe at the media scrum. Like that's the world champion. Do better.
Yeah. One day.
And
we'll be
I
there.
love his
We'll be
candid
there.
reaction too. Did you see it?
I didn't. I read some bits on Twitter. Yeah.
So literally, they asked him how the morale was in the locker room because that report came out.
Yep.
Joe said it was some of the highest it's been in a long time, and he's very happy with it. And then they had no other questions for him, and he said, "Okay, screw you guys," and left. Like they had one question for Joe.
It's like
Come on.
what he has done to level up as champion. He's dressing the part, he's wrestling the part he always has. But like this is the like we have to look at it this way. This is the run that we hoped that we were going to get in WWE,
Yeah.
and we didn't. So now we are in a position again because if a company like AEW doesn't exist, we're probably not seeing this.
We're seeing Joe
And
on commentary.
yeah, and that's the one question that they had was about morale. And it's surprising as hell, and it's unfortunate. But he's going to continue to do, Joe's going to continue to Joe, and he's going to be awesome. Triple threat, hardest test of his championship run so far. Let him just coast now at this point. Let him just run through everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Like there's not a clear challenger right now, but that's for them to figure that out.
Hopefully not with a tournament.
I will hold my breath. And
Well, at least there's a happy reason that we're getting, or bittersweet reason that we're getting a
bittersweet.
tournament. Yeah. Sting and Darby Allin. The Young Bucks, Texas Tornado Tag Team match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. This was
Nuts.
AEW absolutely crushed the Sting retirement tour. It could not have gone any better. We get the pre-tape as Sting is in a theater, empty, watching back, clips of his career and important moments. And we get the intro. Seek and Destroy by Metallica was used. His son's dressed up as Surfer Sting and Wolfpack Sting. Just nostalgia all over the place. They handled this perfectly. Young Bucks, I also want to point out, I love the confetti cannon is now using their business cards. That's just a brilliant touch. So,
No, everything about this match everything about it
yeah,
was awesome.
yeah.
Darby
It's
taking
another
the
one of those match of the year
insane bump.
contenders.
Oh, it's up there. Darby taking that insane bump. I mean, that is. Oh man.
Yeah, I'm all for putting your body on the line if that's what you choose to do. However, that's just
I mean, for Sting's retirement, like
yeah.
that's okay, but like let's not do like. Oh man, dude, that was.
I feel like I have to make one of those punch cards of Darby gets like 5 or 6 free spots a year, and he's already used one. So
I was gonna say that might be like 3 right there because
yeah.
that spot was just like it was insane. It was insane. But yeah, the
Yeah.
match was great. A little surprise Sting, and then won. But that's probably the Young Bucks going like, we're not beating you. You do what you
Yeah.
need to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fun appearances
Presentation.
also.
Go ahead.
Oh, so I was just gonna say fun appearances from Ricky Steamboat. We saw Scotty Riggs, Magnum TA, Ric Flair got involved.
I'm okay.
That match, I mean, it's fine. Did the match need it? No, but
No, probably not.
Sting, Flair, just yeah.
Nostalgia.
Yeah.
Nostalgia. Yeah,
Yeah,
like the presentation was fantastic. Everything about it. The only thing I will say is I wish they would have had a separate feed for when Sting was giving that speech at the end. Kind of just cut
yeah,
off, which kind of
yeah,
stunk. But yeah, it we will. I don't. It's gonna be a while before we see something like a Sting career.
yeah,
And I said it before on the show earlier. Like I'm just very happy and AEW is around that
yeah,
we had this run with Sting. Like because 5 years ago it was done. Sting
yeah.
was we didn't
He's
have.
retired.
He was in the WWE Hall of Fame, and that's it. He was doing
Yeah,
press tours or come out every once
yeah,
in a while to do the conventions or whatever. But he got to go out on his own terms. He got to do, I mean, crazy amount of stuff in AEW that we saw,
yeah,
and it's just it's fun to have two major companies in wrestling where we can get a
yes.
Will Ospreay, where we can get a Sting have that final career
Hmm.
match, where we can have that final career run, a place for Samoa Joe to be a world champion right now.
Yeah.
Um,
Christian Cage
it,
having a second run that nobody would have ever expected that he's having.
yes, that as well. It is a they knocked this one out of the park, man. Like this was a
Yeah,
hell of a show, and they really needed a bounce back, and they got it. Like
yeah,
this was maybe one of their best shows ever.
yeah. I mean, we have crapped on AEW, and they've deserved a lot of the criticism I believe that
Mm-hmm.
we've given. But this, I mean, this was
This was
this
awesome.
was an amazing show. Yeah. Uh, so as far as the future of the tag team titles are vacated. That's already been announced. Where does Darby Allin go from here?
That's gonna be interesting to see. Um, for the last 5 years, he's had Sting, so
Yeah,
that's he's one of those four pillars that they talk about.
yeah,
Um, as of right now, he's the only one that's kind of relevant at the moment.
yeah. Yeah,
MJF shelved with the injury, so I won't say he's not relevant, but he's not there.
available. Yeah,
Jack Perry's setting himself on fire in Japan, so that's what he's doing. And then Sammy Guevara is kind of just floating at the moment.
there. Yeah,
So yeah, like this, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Darby because Sting was kind of non-committal on his future with AEW. I know Tony wants
yep,
him to stay around, but you
yeah,
got to think after 38 years in the business, like he may just want to take a break.
yeah.
So,
It's like, damn it, I'm
um,
tired. Yeah,
it the next couple weeks, months, years for Darby, I think are going to be interesting because
yeah.
I don't want to say he used Sting as a crutch, but it didn't hurt to have Sting by your side, right? Like
It did
that
not.
kind of
No.
that helped his career so much, and
Yeah,
now he's going to have to take it and build off of it. Like
yeah,
crazy bumps only get you so far, and
yeah,
we don't know how many more this guy has in him. So we'll see.
yeah. More questions than answers, especially because we're still 2 days away from Dynamite. But that's okay. That's okay. I mean, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
overall, amazing show. This was just this was the win that they
Yeah,
needed.
it's great.
I can't wait to see how they follow this up. They're launching a new pay per view. Again, this isn't one that's happening in a couple of months. This is next month. So
Yeah,
every bit of TV is going to count in trying to get that card ready now as well. So we'll be watching.
yeah, yeah. Any uh, any final thoughts there, Mr. Cincinnati, on one of our longest podcasts ever?
Yeah, nope. I'm all done. Podcast Papa. Always good to see you. Great
Yeah,
weekend. Yeah, can't wait to
it was
do
a
it
fun
again.
weekend.
April
Still
26th.
recovering, but yes.
Well, I'm doing just fine.
Yeah, yeah, I'm just tired.
Yeah,
You got to go home
yeah,
and
that's,
sit on your couch and relax. I had two
just fine.
toddlers, very happy to see me. I will say that warmed my heart.
Yeah,
But they were also insane. So that was
that's fine.
after a long road trip. I loved running around, but it
That's
was
fine.
tired. But it
No,
did
it's
warm
all
my
good.
heart. So I will say that.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the Wrestling Junkies podcast. We will be back tomorrow. We've also got some great interviews this week, as well as a new Stump the Smart coming. Like, share, subscribe, help us to run those numbers. Again, if you know one person that would enjoy our show, just share it with them and let them see for themselves. And more importantly, let's just be cool. Let's be a lot nicer to people, especially within the IWC. And that's all we got. We'll be back tomorrow. Oh wait, no, we're not here tomorrow. Johnny and Tully are here tomorrow. So I
Yep.
know they missed us.
Taking the day off.
We earned it. See you guys tomorrow.